Hello, everybody, and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is VooDoo Val, and I am here with my friend Codi Bear. How are you, Codi?
I'm great, Val.
I'm so excited for today because this is the debut of an awesome new show that Codi and I are going to be doing every Friday, which is super exciting, super cool. As some of you folks might know, we've got a kind of remix schedule here on Adobe Live, and part of that is that we are live on Fridays, where Codi and I will be kicking off each day with creative Mad Libs. Now, some of you folks might actually recognize the kind of format we're going to be doing for the show, as Codi and I have both kind of tried out this activity several times. You've probably seen other folks experiment with it as well. People like Andrew Hockrattle have done little versions of the Mad Lib stuff, and we're super pumped to be bringing it to you more regularly. So how does Creative Mad Libs work? So you will notice that underneath Codi and I, we have a little 3-line prompt. Codi is a cozy mage. She can talk to animals and she cooks a mean stew. I am a snack thief. I consort with goblins, and I am also a frog whisperer. Okay, we're getting really deep into friendship here. We're teaching you guys some stuff about us. We're learning about each other. I don't know if anybody knew about my affiliation with the frogs,
Yes,
but it's true. And we're going to be having one of these little 3-line prompts every episode, which you folks are going to be able to vote on if you head over to the YouTube chat. In fact, if you're already over on the YouTube channel and you're watching from there, we're going to have polls throughout the live stream where you can vote on various elements of the prompt that Codi and I will then illustrate. But if you're preferring to watch over on Behance, if I were you, I'd pop out that chat on YouTube and make yourself your very own little voting poll module. Very easy to do. And yeah, let's maybe pop over to our work screen, because you guys can check out our prompt for today. So our screens are blank because we have yet to start our projects, but today's prompt is: this is a mushroom or carrot character. They adventure in the forest or mountains, and they love to cook or solve puzzles. So we're kind of designing a character with this 3-line prompt, and we're going to get ready to do our very first poll, which will be you folks voting whether you want a mushroom or carrot character. Codi and I went over this before the stream today. These are very Val or Codi centric voting things. Yes. Gee, Codi, I wonder which food item you would prefer for this character. What would it be if you had to choose one of those?
It's so funny, Val. Until you made the observation about my artwork, I don't think it actually truly occurred to me how often I draw carrots.
But good carrots.
My artwork is very carrot centric.
Yes, it really is. I feel like your carrots are so unique too, because this is like a carrot. Okay, I'm gonna while we get our first poll booted up, we're gonna do a deep dive into Codi Bear carrot lore. So carrots look like this. They have their little long fronds, and it's usually like a little skinny root vegetable, maybe with a squiggly root tip, okay, like that. Codi's carrots are about 20 times the size a normal carrot is. Yeah. They're usually very large, and they are super cute because they are round. They're round, like a almost kind of like potato-esque. But I mean that in the best way possible. And they always have cute little, cute little tiny fronds sometimes. Yes, there you go. That's a perfect carrot. Honestly, I bet those kinds of carrots taste better. And sometimes they're alive. Sometimes they're sentient. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't get better than that. So yes, we do have our poll up. We've already got votes pouring in for either a mushroom or a carrot character. Also, Jack, I love how you've done the prompt. We actually have the line there. With
that's great.
That's great. So definitely head over there and give us a vote, because we are going to start designing our character. I think I'm going to work with maybe a hard round brush today, which is not something
Oh,
I usually do. But
interesting.
for my sketching, I think we're gonna do a hard round brush. And I'm gonna start doing a little sketch, even though we don't know which is gonna be our like character today. I'm gonna start doing like a little spot illustration, um, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Why do I always forget the word? Composition. Do you ever
Ah,
forget the word composition randomly and you
mm-hmm.
cannot, yeah, I can never pull it out of the ether sometimes. Um, I'm gonna heavily take inspiration from you, Cody.
Oh,
Yeah, because I feel like you are like the queen of or I believe they're called spot illustrations, aren't they?
mm-hmm.
Like little scenes, little moments. And I really admire your ability to create a scene that doesn't actually have any discernible border. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I see little moments that you illustrate, and you do it in such a way where my brain fills in the entirety of the background, even though I can only see little pieces of it.
Thank you
Um,
so much. That actually means a lot to me because something that I've always struggled with in my work is the fact that I struggle with like full environments. And that's why the majority of my work are just like little vignettes of a scene,
mm, mm.
basically. So yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I think that, this is an inspirational thing that you all could find some motivation for illustration. And whether you are a seasoned illustrator, or a beginner looking to kind of dive into that sort of thing, definitely give Cody's portfolio a look-see,
Uh,
and find some inspiration there, guys. It's a great
yeah.
place to be. We have 14 votes, and I'm super
Oh,
pumped.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and close that poll, and see who we're going to be illustrating. 78% for mushroom.
Nice.
We I am gonna keep this cute, okay? I'm gonna do my very best not to make this a terrifying mushroom, but we'll see.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead, and I suppose get right into it. I have done myself the wonderful favor of sketching my composition onto my background layer.
Oh no. Ah!
Yeah,
Such a
my
good
favorite.
start.
I'm
Such a
so
good
good at
start.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
About how often do you start a sketch and accidentally do that? Because I feel like I do it half the time.
I don't do it as often as I used to, mainly because when I'm going to go start a document for a live stream nowadays, I make a new layer before I do anything
Oh,
else.
yep.
Always intentionally make a new layer. And I'm like, I always double check over there on the right on my layer panel, like, is there a new layer over there? Okay, good.
Am I actually working the way that I'm supposed to be working? I should
Yeah.
do that more often. I kind of did that when I started doing our carrot, and
Hmm.
then I don't know, I just ended up wrong again, which okay. I'm gonna make the mushroom cap look like a little witch hat, and I
Oh,
I
cute.
I just got done promising that I would behave, and it's already spooky.
Okay,
Um,
I'm actually going to make a little copy of this. I did some little mushroom and carrot fronds really quick here. So
yeah.
I don't want to get rid of my original mushroom, so I think I'm just gonna little lasso him and copy paste so we can keep our original little mushroom friend here.
He's really
Oops.
cute. And honestly, on him, the mushroom cap it looks like a really great hairdo.
It's a hat, like
Yeah.
Toad, like
Yes. Yes.
it's just
Perfect.
okay, there we go.
I'm gonna give him, until I decide what he's gonna look like, I'm gonna give him a Cody Bear face. Not Cody Bear's face,
Right.
a Cody Bear face.
Just copy and paste my face on
Yeah.
there.
I don't think people are ready for whatever rendition of your actual face I would come up with.
Yeah, that would be really terrifying, actually.
Yeah, I'd be hesitant to offend. I'm just like, yeah, she was supposed to draw me, but now I'm a Wendigo, and I don't know if that's really I don't know what to feel.
I don't know if that's on brand.
Yeah, it's not really. Now I'm a monster, and I don't think I can show this to anyone. Um, Val will draw those red mushrooms with the white dots. Very deadly. Amanita muscaria. Yes, those are very, very cool mushrooms. They also have very interesting transformations in shape and form throughout their life cycle, which is, I think, really cool, but none of them cute, really. Like Toad and all of the power-up mushrooms in Mario, that's the cutest that mushroom ever looks.
It's quite funny when you look at the characterized version in Mario and then you look up an actual picture of it. It's like, oh, how did they even get there?
Where did you get inspired for this? Because I it's like you took a cute mushroom and then you made DLC skin for it. You know. Okay, I think I'm gonna give him these chunky little arms.
Oh, he's so cute. I love his I love the fact that the underside of the mushroom part, like the mushroom top, is like the brim of the hat. That's so adorable.
It would be cool. Chonk. I'm trying to, I know, isn't he chonky? I might like give him like little tassels, like, you know, like I just think that would be cute, like, you know, little accessories. I feel like if you are a mushroom person, you are probably prone to accessorizing.
Right.
I would,
of course.
You know, I definitely would be a very accessory-ridden mushroom folk person for sure. And I'm hard pressed to decide between spots or stripes, but I feel like spots for the mushroom cap would probably be the best if we want to stay on brand. I might do that. It's gonna be spots. And I also think, how, like, are you gonna put him in clothes?
I probably will. Depending on what our other prompts are. Which actually maybe we should start working on our next poll so we can get those responses in. So they adventure in the forest or mountains. So those kinds of prompts, and also the third poll is going to change things a little bit too, because solving puzzles, or cooking, because that can kind of inform like maybe what kind of accessories they have or what they're wearing or the things that they have with them in the scene. I'm kind of just keeping it simple for now, and then I'll just like start adding details as we get more information.
Yeah, that's a really great point about like the setting. Like, you know, getting all this information will help us really build a story around it. So we do have a few votes over on YouTube already, but if you have not voted and would like to participate, either head over to the YouTube chat or stick around on Behance and just pop out your YouTube chat so you have a little poll module. And give us a vote. Would you like us to put our characters in a forest or in the mountains? Which I think that you can get away with a lot with either of those.
Either, yeah.
You know, like I feel like you could do like a spooky forest, a cute forest. You could do you could put them in a tree if you wanted to. I wouldn't think that would be like your first, you know, mental go-to for where to put a mushroom, but you could do it, you know. You could have him really, really small and have him in, you know, at like the base of a tree, which is where a lot of mushrooms would grow.
That would be cute.
He could be frolicking like normal human sized in the forest, you know. And then in the mountains, I feel like you could get away with putting him in a cave if you wanted to.
Or like a snowy scene.
Yeah. Snowy would be cute because the mushroom cap could be a warm hat.
Oh, Lou's got a little pom-pom. And then just like add a little like pom-pom brim, like a beanie. Oh my gosh.
I feel like mine accidentally, and this has never happened to me before, but I think I'm accidentally starting to draw Patrick Star, and I need to migrate from that concept. Well, because I was like, how am I going to add pants to this guy? And then I was like, oh, like this. And then I was like, if I just draw some stars
Just
on
some
it.
some little
He
flowers.
wants to know if mayonnaise is an instrument. That's what he wants. He wants to know, is mayonnaise an instrument? And I would like to migrate from that concept, because that's not going to be where we go with this. Maybe he's a skinny mushroom. Maybe I should make. Did you just like whip out a Patrick?
Yeah.
Lightning fast for me. How many other people in chat have accidentally drawn Patrick Star?
Whoops.
Please yeah. Oh, my bad. Happens sometimes. I feel like this. I can't be the only person with this affliction. And this is not just in regards to drawing Patrick, but sometimes I will, start drawing something and realize most of the way through it that I'm like being subliminally influenced by something that I like in media. Totally. And I'm like, oh no, that's just this thing.
Yeah, that definitely happens, especially if it's something that you grew up on and it's like you don't even realize how much it actually affects your subconscious until you start seeing it like influence your work and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I wonder if I could give him like a little hip cock, like a little
sassy.
Like, yeah. He said that so matter of fact. Yes. Like he's sassy.
Yeah,
happens
totally.
To me. Yeah. I always accidentally draw sassy mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I'm so glad that we are on the same wavelength about this, because sometimes I think about the conversations we have together when we stream here, and I think, man, if Codi was not like on my same level as far as joking around, I would sound nuts.
Crazy.
But if we both do it, it's fun. CJ says, no, this is Patrick. No. On purpose or accidentally, absolutely accidentally, Wade. Also, I'm going to take a peek through our chat here, because I've just realized that we've been gone for so long that I have forgot to like kind of go through and greet everybody.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I missed you guys. Frank is here. It's good to see you, Frank. Oliver, if Codi contacting animals, doesn't that also include whispering to frogs? No, the frogs are mine. The frogs are mine.
I don't whisper. I talk.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Codi. Codi with the clarification. Really appreciate it. Because I was starting to realize like, oh, darn, yeah, he's right.
No.
Let's see. The teeny tiny face. Yes, Jack is appreciating all the little baby faces we have going on here. Alejandro is in the chat, and so is Sean. It's good to see you guys. Gareth, welcome in. Let's see. Clever Devlin, welcome. It is great to see you as always. And Usama is saying, I need some advice on how to improve my profile. Well, I haven't taken a look at your profile individually, though maybe perhaps later I could take a peek at it. But I think that as a general rule of thumb, when you are trying to build a great portfolio or a great professional profile, the main points to kind of have there are, number one, I think a great photo of yourself, either like a photograph or like an artistic rendition would be really great if you're working in a creative field, or a really great shot of some of your work, like a circular spot design in your piece, or something that you feel really represents what you do, that looks very professional. I think a very clear but short bio is also really great to have. Something that tells people who you are, but doesn't, force them to have to read a bunch of information. Maybe like a short paragraph is pretty good. Make sure that you have your social media links you want people to access about you there front and center, because I can't tell you how many times somebody said, oh yeah, I posted that on Instagram, but you don't have your Instagram linked on your profile. And most people are not going to go hunt for that. And then also make sure that, especially if we're talking Behance here, make sure you've got more than one piece of work in each project. It can be a little confusing to start using Behance if you're used to portfolio sites that just have room for like the one piece you're showcasing, but building case studies and having collections as each item in your profile on Behance is really great. It allows people to see more of your work and to take some time to just peruse your projects longer and get a better appreciation of your pieces. So that would be my advice to you, creating a profile, a professional profile here on Behance or other places.
I wanted to add just one note also about social media is that for brand consistency's sake, it's great. It's a great idea to have the same image for your profile picture throughout all of your different social medias, because then people instantly recognize you as that image. And also try to have the same, it's not always easy, but have the same handle everywhere as well. Sometimes they're taken and stuff, but have it, as close as possible to the same consistent thing everywhere. So that way when people, go to just like look your handle up without a link, without a direct link, it'll be easier for them to find you if they're able to look up that specific name.
That is an excellent piece of advice, because sometimes when it is not so, it can be really, really easy to be like, is this the guy? Is this them? I don't know. And it can be difficult to find people. And I think at the end of the day, if you make it a lot of work to discover you, some people will not continue to hunt you down. On social media and stuff. So I've learned that the hard way, where I'm like, it's on my, I'm so-and-so on Twitter, but it's not linked anywhere. People are like, that's great, show me where I can get it, so always a good idea to try and sync all those up as best you can. Also, we've got some quotes happening in the chat. In caps, the frogs are mine. VooDoo Val 2024. If this is the first thing that I'm becoming recognized for this year, I'm satisfied.
Perfect.
Also, maybe I think we could probably close the polls now. We've got a good amount of voting, and it looks like Forest. So we got a Val centric vote and then a Codi centric vote, which I'm loving. So we are going to now go into from a mushroom character to a mushroom character who likes to adventure in the forest. And then maybe we can start our third poll as well, which would be they love to cook or solve puzzles. So if you folks would like to help us decide what kind of, personality this character has, that would be great. I think I'm gonna do like some little bushes. Do you have any tips, Codi, on like illustrating like foliage?
That's a very good question. I have spent a long time deciding how I want to do foliage. Like, I feel like it always changes in my work. Like, oh, I like this style one day, and then the next day I'm like, oh, I hate that.
I'm like, why did I ever do this?
There's so many different ways that you can do foliage. Like, if you're somebody that likes drawing a lot of detail, you could literally draw every single leaf if you wanted to, which I've seen artists do. For me, I personally don't like drawing a lot of detail. If you can see from my work, it's very simplistic, just simply because I honestly don't have the patience to draw a lot of detail. That's just me. So I have to come up with ways that work for the way that I like to draw. So for me, when it comes to bushes, especially since I started using kind of this more flat perspective, like here's an example of a bush. A lot of the time I'll keep the bottom edge completely flat, so then it kind of looks cohesive with the rest of my work. And then I kind of just draw it like I would a cloud, and that's kind of just like a bunch of little scalloped, little like different shaped scallops like that.
I love it.
And then sometimes I'll come in and like add a little leaf a little simple leaf shape that's like disconnected on the outside like this, and then
Oh
I'll add
yeah.
like maybe like just a couple little leaves on the inside, and there we go. We have a bush.
And I'll say it again because I've said it before. One of my favorite things that you achieve in your pieces a lot of the time is like this element of like you have an object and then the details for that object are like kind of floating over and next to it, but in like varying but really complementary colors that just adds like this layer of texture and wonder that I would never have thought naturally to kind of do it that way, but it works so well.
Oh, thanks, Val.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and then there's sometimes like where I will sometimes like to avoid doing foliage, I will just draw stick bushes. Like I'll just draw a bunch of little sticks. I'll do that with trees too, or I will, like I did with this bush here, I just kind of created like a round shape. And then kind of just drew those sticks on the inside of that shape.
Yeah, because it's like the leaves are would be the shape, and then you could put like the branches of the interior bush there.
Yeah. It's like a
I imagine
silhouette.
It works for trees too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
How do you draw foliage?
I usually, so I have like some little sketchy lines here, and maybe I'll crank my my sketch down and show off kind of how I do it. So my sketchy lines, you can see I have like some lines that are kind of suggesting bushes here. And I will just like kind of let my brain fill that in. And I like to do like wispy, like tall grass that's like in tufts kind of. And I can actually, I am maybe going to pull up a little example of, because I typically do the heavy painting, and like I add a bunch of detail to my work. I think that's one of the contrasting elements of our respective portfolios, is that I sometimes like fall too heavily into adding way too much texture to something. But even still, I have done some bushes and things that look like this, which is funny that you were showing off that kind of bush, because I've done that in my own style before. So I have, this is some work from my portfolio, which I actually was like really heavily inspired by you for this project, where I was like, what would it look like if I did like a cute, you know, children's book illustration and created these bushes and like pieces of foliage and ferns and things like that. And it turns out, when I try to draw children's stuff, it turns into a scary forest. I'm still working on that. I really am. I'm really trying not to do that.
I love it.
But so these are like some of the kinds of bushes that I have rendered in like that kind of style, but like with my personal branding of like rendering. And then I think I did also do like a happy one. So that there's like happy colors and bright colors and things like that. But yeah, so like, I feel like there's a few different ones, but overall you can kind of still see that same, like all of the tufts of grass are going in one direction and kind of like it's leaning over and, you know, stuff like that. So that's Val foliage. Terrifying
I really
still.
love, I really love your shapes. Like they're so unique. And they have, they're so dynamic. Like it really feels like there's a lot of movement in one direction or another, and it kind of like draws your eye into the illustration. It's really pretty.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you, because I feel like you are a master at that sort of thing. So,
oh, thank you.
I feel like a good bean. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but Cody and I are friends, and we like to spread positivity on this show. Also, I'm adding like some little kind of forest elements in like patches of grass, and trying to like from this mound of grass and kind of like spread this out, like bring those patches of grass away from it, but kind of do like similar to how you make your spot illustrations where it's like, here's the mountain and here's the, the little like bits of grass. And if you do it just right, if you finesse it well, then your viewer is like, oh, there's probably grass everywhere. I just can't see it,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do here. And then you also, I guess this is a very Codi centric episode because I didn't realize how much inspiration from you I was going to take, but here we are. You also do this wonderful thing, which I think everybody could really learn from and find very valuable, and that is sometimes your background has like this pretty square of color. And sometimes that square of color is very like very, very, I want to say plain, but I don't think plain is like as positive as I mean it. But sometimes it's
minimal?
like a shape. Yeah, minimal. Yeah, it's like a minimal shape. And sometimes it has a pattern in it, but sometimes there's a scene back there. And I think it's a really great way to fill the space and give a vibe. Like, because I've added like a yellowy orange square to the background here, and I feel like that instantly made my character feel like he's in sunlight. Back there. But and I can put whatever I want. I can put trees in there. I can put all kinds of stuff, or I can just do like, maybe I want to do some little bird moments in the back, so it's like open sky and forest in that way. But I've really enjoyed kind of experimenting with it like this, because I feel like where at first I would get lost and not know what to put in the background, now I have like a boundary, and it looks really dynamic if your character breaks the borders of that shape in the back. Looks really cool.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that was actually my way of trying to combat the fact that I can't really do full environments. So it was my way of trying to problem solve that issue. And I think having even just like a specific color, like you said, like that yellow in the background makes your character look like it's, in a specific environment, the warm lighting, like maybe golden hour or something like that. And it really cements the atmosphere of the scene. And it helps for those of you that maybe, there's viewers out there that might be struggling with the same thing that I did. Maybe you feel like, for me, I felt almost obligated to try to continue to learn, like to do full scenes, and it just never worked out for me. But being able to kind of like take that spot illustration, but also at the same time add a little bit of atmosphere, kind of helped like bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that's kind of like a technique born in the same way as like my kind of choice to mostly paint in grayscale, which I'm not doing today. And I find that when I paint with you, I paint color first most of the time.
Funny.
But I found that like, painting in grayscale and then coloring later really helped to kind of combat my part of it was fear, part of it was like a lack of knowledge, and part of it was just like a lack of confidence in starting in color and not really knowing what colors to choose. So I didn't feel confident in that, making that leap in that way artistically. And then I was just like, actually, this is like a pretty cool technique to do. So like when you struggle with something, finding a way to still convey your artistic vision in a way that you can really flourish in, I think is really great.
And I like to, whenever I talk about artistic style or personal style, a lot of that comes down to making those tiny little decisions over the course of an extended period of time, like those problem solving pieces that you say, oh, well, this might have worked for this artist, but I have to figure out a different way to do that. And that will lead you down a path of, carving your own way in your, your artistic style. Those tiny little decisions that you make add up over time, and it kind of ends up making your work more unique to you.
Absolutely. And I think it can be scary, right? To
Mhm.
kind of make the leap into an experimental moment when you are feeling self-conscious about your ability to do something. Like
Totally.
there's experimenting when you're like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to try this? Like that's how I think I imagine experimenting a lot. But I think now that you've kind of raised this point, the majority of my artistic experimenting happens when I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And it can feel really daunting when you're like, I have to solve this problem.
Yeah.
In my work, I have to find a way to get over this hump, and kind of move into the next area of my artistic journey, but I'm not really sure how I'm doing that. It can feel weird, but I think that if you get to that point where that's why and where you're experimenting in your journey, try to trust the process, because I know for a fact, and I know that you do as well, Codi, like when you're self-conscious and you're experimenting and you have no idea where it's going, it can be really easy to give up before you hit success.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've been
I
through
do
that
it
so
all
many
the time.
times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you're like, I don't know where it's going. I can't envision the successful end product of what I'm doing at all. And you might be onto something great and have no idea, because it's daunting to take that leap.
Yeah.
But I definitely encourage you, stick with it. Just keep going, keep trying, because you really never know where you'll actually end up, and it could be wonderful. Success could be right around the corner.
Yeah. As cliche as that might sound.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very
Sometimes
true.
I feel like I'm like, is what I'm saying lame? Maybe, but it's the truth. It's the total truth. Also, we have a lot of votes for our activity that our character is going to be doing. So why don't we go ahead and close that poll and see. So far, we've got a mushroom character that likes to adventure in the forest and loves to cook. So we've got one Val and two Codi-centric answers here. And honestly, I couldn't be more pleased. I think I'm gonna make my mushroom a farmer.
Oh,
I think he's gonna be a farmer.
Oh.
In his little woodland farm. And I've given him, I thought I was gonna give him pants. I'm gonna give him a poncho. Like a little, I think he's gonna have, or maybe like just a shawl. I've kind of like what would a mushroom wear? And I'm thinking like maybe he would take a big leaf and kind of swathe himself.
So cute.
Yeah, I think that would be cute.
Now that you mentioned farmer, the witch hat is kind of almost like making me feel like it's like a scarecrow hat almost.
Yeah.
Like kind of scarecrowy.
Like a straw hat.
Like a little bird or something like on his hat, but he's tiny, so it'd be a very, very tiny bird.
Bodhi, we are gonna put a little chirp chirp bird right up here. Oh no.
A little tiny. I'm gonna add a teensy tiny, as Val would say.
A teensy
tiny bird in my illustration as well. I'm going to add a teensy tiny.
Okay. I'm trying to think of when I said teensy tiny to you, but because I'm like, how did she know that? But I must say that often enough. Yeah. Roll the evidence. Exhibit B.
Roll the clip.
Roll it. I'm like, oh my God, so incriminating.
That's hilarious. It was on Adobe Live sometime recently. And
okay. All right.
Me
I
and
believe
CJ
you.
quote it all the time now. So yeah.
I love that, like, when I'm not there, you guys at home are like quoting the weird things I say. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. You know what Val said today? I feel so popular. Okay, that's gonna be a little teensy tiny bird. Oh my gosh, yours is so cute. Oh no, I just looked. You put a hat on top of the mushroom cap, and I cannot.
It's a very tall hat. I think it's the tallest hat I've ever drawn, honestly.
It's so good. Oh no. Is it like a little, like, it looks to me like one of those cap. It looks like one
It's
of those
like,
hats you would get if you like went to Yosemite. Or
yes.
like, you know,
yeah, he's like, yeah, it's a little adventurer's hat. Yeah,
yes.
it's got a little like badge with a
Oh
badge logo
no.
with a little tree on it. Yeah, he's a
He
little
is too
adventurer.
cute. That is too much for me. I love him. He must be protected at all costs. He's giving like up vibes,
Yes.
but like Fern Gully style is what he's giving right now. Can we get like I've like gone straight into fashionista mode where I'm like rating this mushroom and he's winning. Yas queen. But I would also love to hear what everybody else thinks in the chat. Wade is saying hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds.
Aww.
We could definitely. Oh, you know what? Hummingbirds would be like a little bird body and then like lines with like action marks.
Oh yeah,
for their little
wings.
Yeah,
it's so true.
That would be cute. Okay. How am I gonna do? I feel like I need to step up my game here with my my sketch because
I'm trying to decide.
Cuter.
I'm trying to decide how I want to incorporate cooking. The reason that I gave him a backpack was because in case we did cooking, I think I'm going to put like herbs like hanging out of his backpack and like a pan like hanging from his backpack like he's camping and like he cooks on like he's got a little cooking camping pack and all I can hear in the background is like the Breath of the Wild cooking song.
Yes.
I just envision Link cooking.
One of the things that it definitely makes me think of is like the items that you would see in like Don't Starve.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things like that where it's like little packs and little kits and things that are for specific, you know, things in the game, like, you know, cooking, like they have like a campfire kit and like a fishing kit and stuff with all the little trinkets and stuff hanging. That looks like this is something somebody uses every day. I am also going to pull up my Pinterest on my other workspace over here because I realized I'm a little bit stumped as to how I'm going to kind of formulate and devise the expression in the face.
Oh, okay.
And I think I would like to kind of offer a little reminder, little tip to everybody either working along with us today or just hanging out and doing their own stuff. If ever you find that you are stumped in middle of a project, always pull up reference if you can. I cannot tell you how many projects I've like run into the ground because I was like, no, I can figure this out. I should know how to do it. And I get like frustrated with myself. I don't know if anybody feels that way, but sometimes I feel like I should know what comes next in an illustration. So I keep trying to do it myself when if I just pulled up some inspiration or some reference for what I'm trying to make, I could come up with an incredible idea that is inspired by something, or my reference could remind me of information I've already learned before, but I'm just not thinking of currently. Reference is your friend, always. All right, let's see what kind of faces, because I'm thinking like, you know, it could be a Codi face, you know, with like cute little button eyes. And honestly, the farther apart and smaller the eyes are, and like the closer to the center of the eyes that little tiny mouth is, the cuter the character's going to be. That's typically, you know, how I feel about it. But I almost kind of want to see if there's any elaboration I could do that would be interesting. For example, what if instead of dot eyes, what if I grabbed like a lighter color for like the whites of the eyes and then used a dark shade of like the mushroom skin to kind of add details around it. That could be sort of interesting. And I'm trying to see if there's a way to kind of use those elements that doesn't make my mushroom look frightening. You know, like, can I make it not scary?
It's funny because like without even realizing it, you are doing exactly what we were talking about in regards to problem solving right now.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, well, I could do a face like Cody does, but I don't want to
Mhm.
do a face that like Cody does necessarily. I want to do a face for Val's work. Like this is
Yes.
my work, so I want to make it look different than,
Mhm.
what the next artist might do. And looking at reference from real world, looking at a bunch of different artists rather than just one artist, and kind of like just pulling inspiration and kind of just problem solving with all of that information and saying, okay, what can I do with all of this? And that's basically exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think, specifically what you said about like if you're going to take inspiration from other artists, pulling up many different things is a great idea so that your work doesn't start looking like somebody else's.
Yeah.
There is a serious value in that because typically I think, there's that saying that like everything that can be done has already been done. And some people don't like that because maybe I assume this is an assumption, not a fact, but maybe because like if everything artistically that can be done has already been done, then how do I make something new?
Yeah.
But I personally, I actually find a lot of solace in that, and I
Yeah.
feel really content and confident in that because if everything that you could come up with artistically has already been done in some way or fashion, then that means every time I am struggling, every time you are struggling, you can always find information. You can Google what somebody else's interpretation of a similar concept
Yes.
is. Like,
Yes.
how have other people approached this, and how can I like kind of deviate from and build upon what other people have done? But like, give me kind of a creative interpretation to start from, so that I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel completely lost.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you're looking, like for me, I'm like, how have other artists interpreted cute anime or animal character eyes in a way that's not just a single dot, that still kind of gives the same cuteness. Like, what are other
Mm-hmm.
people making with regards to that? And I find that it's very refreshing to like kind of go forward and see what people are doing in that aspect. And I always feel like I come away with a new understanding of the concept and a new way to do it for myself.
Yeah. I do that all the time. If I'm struggling, like for instance, for many, many years, I struggled drawing rocks.
Uh-huh.
Specifically rocks. I don't know why. There was just something about like drawing rock faces and stuff like that that was really difficult for me. And so I would just not only would I look at a bunch of different artists, I'd look up artists and maybe on Instagram and say, okay, how did this artist do a rock? Okay, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
study that. How did this artist do a rock? I'm gonna study that. I would even Google clip art of rocks.
Nice.
Specifically,
Yeah.
I Google clip art all the time
How
because
do
I
you, yeah,
know,
build it?
yeah, I know that it's going to be like relatively simplistic for clip art. So I kind of just look at the overall shapes that they
Mm-hmm.
use. And then I kind of just over time, having that all of that information in my, kind of mental library, I was able to formulate the way that I wanted to draw rocks.
Yeah, that's yes. And honestly, I think that like while perhaps, you may not be doing a project that involves a clip art style, utilizing clip art reference for clip art for reference is really great because you can kind of see the basic form and shape
Yeah.
of what it is that you're going for and really break it down for yourself in a way that allows you to elaborate very easily. Because clip art is typically like very to the point, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
like, here's the form, here's the shape, here's where the shading colors and details might come in, that sort of thing. And when you see like a very straightforward breakdown of the form that you're really trying to go for, you can very easily move forward from that into your own interpretation of whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
you sought to try and create. I'm kind of satisfied with maybe sticking with these like cute little like bubble eyes. I'm not sure.
Oh, they're cute.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
cute.
he needs more substance to really be like like fleshed out in the way that I'm looking to create him, but I am satisfied with the overall shape of like what this could be. Especially if I might put it up higher because that's starting to look really cute. He is pretty adorbs now.
So cute.
And then, because I think we're kind of coming up on, oh my goodness, we've got about 5 minutes left.
I was about to say that. I just looked at the clock. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. This happens to us every time we stream together. We're like, what is time? We're hanging out. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'll definitely like finish this off stream, as I'm sure you will as well, but I kind of want to add like a little bit of like sketchy lines and things that will help me kind of add some serious definition to like some of the discerning points. So he is going to be a farmer. I am going to put like a little pitchfork in his hand.
Oh,
you know,
a little pitchfork for ants.
Yeah, look, yeah. Give him like a little pitchfork or a little shovel. Maybe it's a shovel. Maybe he digs. And I feel like that can go into like our whole kind of cooking thing. Or maybe I'll give him, maybe it's like a stir stick and there'll be a cauldron there, which I feel like that would just be me like, surprise, I've like forced this prompt to be about witches. You know? Like,
it was my plan all along.
The whole time I've been just trying to do this. No, maybe I won't do that. But you know, like there's a lot of opportunity there for elaboration. I'm gonna kind of make the inside of his hat a lighter color. And then what do you think? Just some quick points about the future of yours as we kind of come to a close here for this first episode.
Honestly, I think my sketch is just about done, which is shocking to me because I am usually a very slow sketcher. But I am pretty happy with how this looks.
This is so cute.
I think I need to add a little bit more detail in regards to like the cooking prompt. But I think, let's see, I think I'm gonna add like a big tree here in the background so it kind of like helps people understand like the scale. So other than that, I think I'm actually pretty happy with the progress of this prompt.
I'm really happy with yours as well. Honestly, it might shape up to be one of my favorite things you've drawn just because I love the whole, like, how it's come together. It's really good.
Me too, honestly. Like, I think this is probably one of my favorite drawings I've done in a while. So thank you, chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us these prompts.
And I think I will push mine to be this detail. Like, I'm going to go for this vibe of the, like, the work that I showed earlier where it's like the like the children's ELO stuff I did. Like I'm gonna go for that texture and that vibe as I kind of solidify and see how that goes. But I'm pretty pleased with my concept. I absolutely adore your concept. We are coming to a close here pretty soon in like the next minute or so. I think maybe like 3 minutes. I'm trying not to cut it too close.
A couple more minutes left, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep sketching away, but I hope that you folks have enjoyed this first episode of the Creative Mad Libs with Codi and Val. I'm really pumped to be able to do this every Friday. So please, if you enjoyed hanging out with us, not only should you stick around for the rest of all of the awesome stuff that's coming up today, but we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat place.
Every week now. We're going to be with you on Fridays. Maybe we could give like a little sneak to like what next week's, if you remember what next week's prompts are, we could talk about it.
So next week's prompt is going to be themed around fairy tales, which I think I'm going to be honest. I think every episode of the show, you and I are going to like slip some magic in there. I don't think we're getting around that really, but specifically fairy tales. So our prompt lines, our 3 lines for those prompts, like what we have over here, is going to be kind of elements of like classic fairy tale. And as always, whenever Cody and I end up creating together, there's going to be one of 2 directions we could probably take it. So we could consider next week the will it be grim fairy tale or not episode. And I'm really pumped for that one. So definitely tune in next week. And if you would like to participate, please, like, you could do the exact prompt that we're doing, or you guys at home could illustrate the opposite choices, which would be really cool to see, like the opposite choices. Yeah, we would love to see your work if you want to create with us. Post it on social media, tag us on Instagram, which our handles are actually up there. I think, is that the same as your Instagram handle, by the way?
It's at Codi Bear. Yeah.
I think I'm realizing, I think this is my X handle, and I have a period instead of an underscore there on Instagram. So I should maybe change that. Yeah, follow us on Instagram, tag us on Instagram, tag the Adobe Live Instagram account as well. Maybe get a shout out. And also keep an eye on social media, because we might be utilizing the Instagram a little more often to give you more voting opportunities for episode themes and suggestions. So that is all the time we have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Codi, this was fun.
This was really fun. Thank you guys so much for participating.
Yep. All right. Give us a follow on social media. We will see you next Friday.
Next week. Yeah.
Adios.
Bye, guys.